Hi, this is Jim with CableSupply.com, and today I'm going to give you the next installment of IT leadership. Just a little bit of background. I've been in IT leadership now for 37 years, started in 1979 with the Marine Corps. I have a master's degree in business administration and some other things that you've heard on other videos if you watched my videos. The point is I've been doing this for a long time, and I've learned some things. One thing I learned is that even though I thoroughly enjoyed my master's program in business administration and I learned tons of things, I learned all about contract law, I learned all about employment law, I learned about why businesses fail and succeed and things like that, but I didn't learn a lick about leadership. I learned that in the Marine Corps, and I've been learning it ever since. It's something that's a lifelong lesson in leadership. But today what I'm going to discuss is I'm going to discuss a little leadership principle from the Marine Corps, and it's called take responsibility and seek responsibility for your actions. And what do I mean about taking responsibility for your actions? Well, if you're going to be a leader, take responsibility for your actions, okay? That whatever you've done, or whatever your unit done, you need to take responsibility for yourself and for your unit, for your company, for your organization, whatever it is. You need to be the one that says, the buck stops here. I will make the decision, or I will okay the decision. I will make sure that I'm the one responsible. I'm the one where the phone rings if it doesn't go right. That's what you need to be. You need to be that person. And it's really interesting. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to let you see a little clip from a video, a kid's video. I was watching this cartoon, I don't know, Ants World or something. I forget which it is, but you can see it. And I was watching this cartoon with my grandson, and just found it amazing what these little cartoon people said about leadership. And to me, that shows that whoever wrote this really understood what leadership is, because they wrote it.
She's learning to take over from me, Hopper.
Oh, I see. Under new management. So it's your fault.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't.
First rule of leadership. Everything is your fault.
So the grasshopper is speaking the truth. If you're an authority, everything that happens or fails to happen is your responsibility. So, you know, every morning I wake up and I watch business news because I'm in business. And if you're in business, you should be watching the business news also. And you know what's interesting is a couple days ago I was listening to some people talk about Nordstrom's, and their sales are plummeting. And so they asked the co-president, there's something wrong with that. You know, you can't have two people responsible for the same thing. I know it might be the latest fad from somebody in some university that just thinks that this is the coolest thing in the world is to have co-president. You know, we all just hug each other or something. But someone has to be responsible. So he was asked by the shareholders, you know, why? Why is the sales, you know, dropping like flies? You know, it's just horrible. And he said, I don't know. You expect me to know everything? I thought, you know, if I owned shares in that company, I would have sold everything right there, because there's a company that has absolutely no leadership. If you're going to be a leader, then take responsibility for your actions, and also take responsibility for the actions of your people who you're responsible for. Be aggressive in this area. Take over. Don't let just things happen to you. Make them happen, okay? Don't sit there and just be the victim. You're not the victim, by the way. If you're the leader, then set the direction. Do what you're supposed to do. This is what leadership is. It isn't to blame other people. Well, you know, it's this person's fault or that person's fault, or if I had better people, it would be this way. No, it's your fault. I always liked Truman. You know, one of the presidents, maybe younger people don't know that, but he was a president at the end of the Second World War, and he had a little plaque on his desk, and he said, the buck stops here. And that, to me, says that you have the right leadership attitude. The buck stops here with you. If you're going to be a leader, take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for the actions of your people. Everything that happens or fails to happen is your responsibility as a leader. Don't blame other people. Now, it doesn't mean that other people don't screw up. They do screw up. but you take responsibility for your actions and for the actions of your organization. And I tell you what, you do something illegal, or somebody in your organizations does something illegal, they're going to be suing you. They're not going to be suing that individual, your employee. They're going to be suing you. Also, be aggressive. Seek responsibility. So let's say you have a boss, go ask your boss for more responsibility. Tell him you'll take care of this area, or you'll take care of this other area, or you'd like to do more in this area. Seek responsibility. Now, there's two areas of this that you need to be careful about. And one is, if you have authority without responsibility, that's dictatorship. That's what you call Saddam. That's what Saddam had. He had that dictatorship because he wasn't held accountable for his actions. But I tell you what, you're rarely ever going to run into that in modern life. But what you are going to run into is you're going to run into the opposite, and that is responsibility without authority. Let me give you some stories on that. I remember once in the Marine Corps, I had a unit, it was about 12, 15 Marines, and we had a pretty tough job. We worked in a data center, which inside office, you had to work pretty hard to get things done. And there was this Lance Corporal, a female Lance Corporal that, just had a great relationship with my boss. That's all I could say. Great relationship with my boss. She could walk into my boss's office whenever she wanted. If I wanted to see the captain, I had to sit there and set an appointment and be there and stand tall and not sit in his chair in front of his desk. She could sit there in front of his desk and chit-chat with him and drink coffee, sometimes for an hour or more. Well, anyway, she would call in sick every 3 days, basically every 3 days. And pretty soon I would tell her, you need to go see the clinic and find out what's going on. And she went in and yelled at my boss. And well, as soon as she was done complaining to my boss, of course, he called me in and yelled at me and told me I had no authority over her. And that anytime she wants to be sick, she is to be sick. And I'm not to ask any questions. Well, of course, that caused a lot of problems with my people because they had to pick up her slack. And it caused a lot of problems throughout the organization. That is a lack of leadership. If you're the boss and someone reports to you and you allow someone below them to get around them, you're not supporting the person who you put in charge. And I'll tell you what, if you are an employee and you have a boss that has a special relationship with one of your employees, then you need to go get yourself another job, because this happened to me twice. When I was a civilian, I worked in a department that had about 20 people. And you know what happened? One of the ladies, again, had a good friendship with my boss. And he and her would drive back and forth to work each day. They would carpool. And they were good old friends for many, many years. So every time I sat there and gave direction to my section, my department, that I wanted certain things done, and you know something? If she disagreed, she just kind of managed to mosey on up to see him that day and tell him about the disagreement. And then he would call me to his office and tell me to change the way I was doing things. I quit that job. You need to get out of those type of jobs. Responsibility without authority is a loser. Anytime you work for a boss like that, that's going to second guess you all the time, but yet hold you responsible for results, or hold you responsible for the performance of that section, that department, that unit, that is a losing situation. You're not working for a leader, you're working for something else, and you're going to lose. You need to go find yourself another job. And if you're that type of boss where you're not given full authority, but you're holding someone responsible for results, even though they don't have the authority to make decisions, then you're a lousy boss. And you need to rethink through what you're doing. This is an unacceptable position to put your people in. And if you're the person that has to be under that authority, then you're going to have a miserable life. You need to go find another job. The key in leadership is you got to take responsibility for your actions. And then you also have to take responsibility for the actions of your people. And so don't sit there and give excuses all the time, like some sort of sad sack. Take responsibility for your actions. Be a leader, and don't blame other people for your failures. Just remember, everything that happens or fails to happen as a leader is your responsibility. Thank you for watching. Hi, this is Jim with CableSupply.com. Hi, this is Jim from CableSupply.com. Hi, this is Jim with CableSupply.com, and today I'm going to show you how to cut a hole in the drywall.
This is David signing out. You stay classy, Internet.